Hello, everyone, and welcome back to CLI's Legalpreneurs Spotlight Future 50 series. I'm Terry Modishead. I'm the Executive Director of the Centre for Legal Innovation at the College of Law, and I'm your host for this series. In Future 50, we're chatting with global thought leaders and doers in legal innovation and legal tech, and showcasing their new and different ways of seeing the legal world and contributing to its transformation. Today, I'm joined by the always wonderful Connie, Brenton and Mick Sheehy to chat about their new collaboration, the Legal Metrics Portal. Can't wait for this one, actually. Connie is the VP of Law, Technology and Operations at NetApp in the US and comes to us from hopefully the sunny Bay Area today, just in and around San Francisco, all bays around San Francisco. And Mick is the partner new law at PwC Australia. It's a huge welcome back to both of you, Connie and Mick. Really, really delighted that you can join us today, and thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Yep, we're delighted to be here, and Mick and I are very good partners in crime.
and we're going to discover all about that very, very soon. I guess the first thing is to jump right in at the beginning, which is, to get some background and tell us about what the Legal Metrics Portal is, why it was created, who created it, because I know there's a fabulous collaboration story there as well.
It is a fabulous collaboration story. In fact, collaboration is part of our DNA, and it is the foundational rock upon which this was built. Both Mick and I have been contributing to the legal ecosystem for a long period of time. Mick was the leader of CLOC. We have together defined the core competencies and plan on redefining them shortly. And so it was a natural progression when Mick actually called me and said, I have a great idea. I know that people are interested in metrics. How about we create a metrics portal? And anytime Mick calls me and says, shall we do this? My answer is yes, of course we should do this. And that's how it was started. We did pull others in from the legal ecosystem because we wanted to ensure that we had a full grasp of the metrics as they relate to everybody in the legal ecosystem. Mick, did I miss anything?
Yeah, so that's a great description of how this came about. In terms of our specific focus on metrics, it was 2 years ago that we put out a short paper that tried to sort of acknowledge that there was a lot of literature out there written about the importance of metrics, but not much done to actually say what needed to be measured. And so we put out a list of around 30 metrics, and it was actually sharing that paper with Connie and us saying, well, that was obviously by no means comprehensive, but what if we could actually put together something really comprehensive? And so we said, well, that's at least going to take like 6 months. And 2 years later, we've released it, and it was a much bigger undertaking than we thought. But we at one point had close to 2,000 metrics, and we had to whittle them down and do a lot of hard work because it's a tough topic, but it was also a topic and a task that probably no sort of individual organisation was probably going to crack themselves. So it was the perfect topic for collaboration. So having Connie, our team, and some other just great international thought leaders on this is what it needed to actually tackle this huge problem.
For a long period of time, legal operations was defined by metrics. So when you talked about legal operations, that's really all you were talking about is metrics. And so when Mick and I started the conversation, we really walked into it thinking that we were going to codify a set of definitions. What we did not anticipate was that even the definitions, we had different ideas around what they meant. It was one of the unanticipated consequences of this project, and Mick has already said it. pushed into a couple of years, and this is one of the reasons. But we do know that when anybody is asked, do you need assistance or how can we help, it very frequently circles back to metrics.
Yeah. But I think also, I'm sure taking that time and going through that process, it really helped to not just shape what you ultimately ended up with, but shaped actually having those conversations and putting even more value behind the metrics once they're actually developed, right? Because they're almost a harmonization of thought and brainstorming, etc., right?
I would say that by really sort of wrestling with this topic and challenging each other, we were regularly coming back to, why are we doing this? What is the purpose of all these metrics, and where does this lead to? And having that as a sort of a framework was really important, because I think a lot of us as collaborators had probably approached this topic in slightly different ways. So us getting really, really clear on what was the right framework and what was the ultimate purpose of this was a really, really important byproduct that perhaps we weren't really even thinking about when we started the original project, which was really just to create a comprehensive catalogue.
Yeah, absolutely. And a shout out to your collaboration partners. Who forms the collaboration, if you like? I mean, obviously your own organisations, but who else is there with you?
Well, Jeff Franke from legalops.com, Pratik Patel from Elevate, Jay Deckert from Is Inspired. And so those are the organizations that were represented. And each one of us brought team members in who also assisted.
Yeah, bit of a dream team there, isn't it?
It is an absolute dream team.
100%. There were a number of others that were working alongside us. So it was a huge undertaking. We met every single week for almost 2 years, and then we had a whole bunch of work that was going on. I'm talking about every week. Like, we didn't take a week off. And the other thing that was really important, from certainly my perspective, was that this didn't come out from particularly any particular service provider. We did not want this to be seen as a product that was really sort of just a way to sell services. And so teaming up with Legalops.com, Jeff, and obviously Connie was really important, because we really wanted this to be seen as an industry initiative for the industry, not coming out from any particular service provider.
Yeah. I mean, shared experience that's non-partisan, right? It doesn't get much better than that, and free too. I mean, that's an amazing thing. But look, tell us how it works. So, the metrics group some way, or give us a bit of a rundown of, if you come to the website and you jump on it and you're starting your journey, how does it work? Where do you go? What do you do?
So there are three main sections in the portal. So the first section is a whole raft of information about metrics and how to think about them, how to run a program, how to think about stakeholder management, how to think about change management, dashboards. We've got instructional videos, and it's just, you can really think about it as sort of a comprehensive set of information about what you need to learn about putting metrics in your organization. But that's just background information. The stuff that the other two sections where we put most of our effort and we're most proud of is, firstly, a metrics catalog. So this is a catalog of over 500 metrics that you can navigate. You can navigate using a whole range of different filters. You can navigate by importance, whether they're sort of fundamental, medium importance, or just nice to have. You can navigate by how difficult they are to obtain, whether they're easy, hard, or in between. And you can importantly navigate them by category, and we've got 14 different legal ops categories, and we've got 4 different practice areas. And then we've got dozens of different keywords you can also navigate them through. So you can really sort of think about that as almost like a choose your own adventure of looking, of basically navigating these 500 metrics and working out what's relevant to you and your organization. The third thing that we have is what we call a wizard. And this is actually this is what a place that you might start where you're not really sure what metrics you want. And the way the wizard works is it says, well, let's put the metrics aside for a moment. Let's think about what decisions you're trying to make in your organization or what stories you need to tell to your stakeholders. And then through a series of clicks, you work back through whatever key decision is that you're trying to make or material story that you're trying to tell. And it will then take you to the metrics that are relevant to that decision or story. So it's really sort of tackling the whole metric issue from the other end, sort of saying, let's show you the metrics that are relevant to whatever decision or story you're trying to tell. Mm-hmm. And we think together those two tools are really, really powerful. And that's certainly also the feedback that we're getting from our users.
But it sounds like also that you can be somebody that's relatively new to metrics as well as someone who's quite experienced in using them, and there's something for everyone. Is that a fair comment?
That's a very fair comment. We purposefully defined the metrics and organized the portal in a way that you can use it if you are a beginner, if you're an intermediate, and also if you are advanced. The advanced will have a much stronger foundation. And so the real learning will come from the beginners and the intermediates. And each profile then, you can filter by each profile. You can get into the metrics catalog if you need an answer to a question. So Mick was talking about, I need to know whether we're bringing value to our department. You can get in and answer the question, what story are you trying to tell? We are efficient at contracting, and you can go into the portal that way and answer your specific question. You can go in to create a dashboard for a specific reason. So you just put compliance metrics in, and so now you need to create a dashboard so that you can start to tweak your processes. You can go in to get a dashboard of your overall organization. Are you efficient? Are you bringing value to the business in your entirety? And then the last is benchmarking. And benchmarking is really where the more advanced legal operations executives will find value. And this is part of the portal that we still will be building out with the help of everybody in the ecosystem.
It's just so, there's just no shortage of data, and there's not going to be a shortage anytime soon. And it's such a fabulous resource because to me, that's always the hard part. It's not that you haven't got the data. It's how do you actually tell that story? How do you actually connect it to the right metric that's going to be what's going to support you in your business journey? So just love it.
I'd actually just flip that a bit now, Terry. It's not just so much that you don't have the data, it's actually that now through all the technologies that we're introducing, we actually do have the data. So we now actually have an obligation to do something with
Absolutely.
it. And it actually becomes way more important than it has been ever in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
One of the other topics that is not well addressed in the portal is the importance of cleansing your data.
Absolutely.
And there are piece parts to developing a roadmap and developing a program, because this is just a reference document. You have to remember this is a part of your overall metrics journey. And as you develop your journey and get more familiar with the metrics catalog, then you start asking about implementation questions. And for that, we will start at the end of this month. The 27th of July will be the first webinar to assist with the implementation of a metrics journey, a metrics program, along with the utilization of the metrics portal.
Fantastic. So there's folks that can jump into that and basically effectively be guided through how to use this to its best possible purpose, right?
It actually expands the use.
Fantastic.
The portal was never meant to be a be all end all.
Yeah.
You really do need most people need professional services to build an end-to-end metrics roadmap and solution. And so during that progression, during that maturity of your legal organization, you will bring in service providers. You will bring a PwC in, you'll bring an Elevate in, you'll bring somebody else in, and they will use the metrics portal in collaboration with other foundational processes that will need to be put in alongside the portal.
I want to pick up on something you were just saying there, Connie. It seems from what you're saying that there's an expectation that people will contribute to the portal. So it is going to expand. It's not set in stone, which, I mean, obviously makes perfect sense, but that is a key factor in this as well, right?
Anytime that you receive a free resource of this caliber, we would hope that there would be a desire to contribute back. And so one of the asks from those who are listening today would be, are you interested in becoming part of a group, a friends and family group to add to? See what happens when you start using it. What can we learn once multiple disciplines and industry types begin to use the portal? How can we then improve it for the benefit of the entire legal ecosystem? So if you are interested in that, please do contact either Mick or myself. We will be starting those groups, and this is a continuous improvement project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I should say, we've made a great start. There's over 500 metrics in there, but it's not, even still, it's not comprehensive. There's, a need for us to start thinking about, well, what industry verticals might have specific metrics that are relevant? ESG is obviously a huge area of focus now. It's probably a bit light on in the portal at the moment. So we are absolutely putting that challenge out there for people that have particular niche areas that they're interested in to join us and help build this into something that becomes an even more valuable resource for the industry, because we do see this as a resource for the industry. It's not owned by any one of the collaborators. It's hosted on legalops.com, but it will become more and more useful and relevant if it becomes a living, breathing resource that is contributed to and curated by the industry.
I would just add, it's an opportunity, if you're developing your career, it's an opportunity to work alongside industry experts.
Yeah.
And we are tons of fun.
It's also kind of another green shoot and what seems to be a little bit of an emerging movement now, and it seems to be coming particularly from the in-house community, where people are getting together globally and having these sort of discussions, obviously different subject areas, but I'm thinking of things like One NDA, for example, and what that's done, but where it's bringing the collective experience, expertise, knowledge, all of the above to a particular focus and sharing that information. And it just makes so much sense, and it's just wonderful to see the both of you spearheading this. It really is. Congratulations on it. Absolutely amazing. I almost can't imagine where this is going to go. It's kind of limitless, really, which is also kind of fabulous. But just delighted that you could join us today. Thank you so much, and just wonderful to have you back.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to talk to you and be involved with CLI.
Ditto.
Thank you.